Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Studio Ghibli Summer. I'm, of course, RussellStarTrek, joined by Oddboy.
Hello there.
And after the okay experience of Pompoko, I was really worried that the rest of the Studio Ghibli movies in the 90s would just be mediocre trash fires. But, we got to, obviously, today's episode, which is about Whisper of the Heart, or Whispers of the Heart?
Whisper. Just whisper.
Oh, just Whisper of the Heart. And I can easily say we're back to good Studio Ghibli movies. Thank fucking God.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like that we were in this, like, dry spell of Studio Ghibli movies where they were just, like, pretty mediocre. But now we actually have, we finally have a great Studio Ghibli movie, and it feels so fucking good.
Yeah, because, we started off the 90s Ghibli with a shit movie.
Only Yesterday. Yeah, with Only Yesterday, which was shit. Then we went to Pompoko, which was a pretty good movie. Not including this, that was so far the only good Studio Ghibli movie so far.
Pompoko was mid. Porco Rosso was good.
Yeah, and then Ocean Waves, we don't speak about it.
So we were just going back
and forth. And then we got Pompoko, which was all right.
Yeah. So
not too bad, but not too great either.
Nothing it's not on the same level as the others.
I was really worried that it was going to be kind of continuing the same thing with Whispers of the Heart. That it was just going to be either pretty mediocre or pretty fucking shit.
Yeah, it was at this point we just had no expectations.
Yeah. But thank God they brought it back with an actually good movie. Like, this reminded me of, like, the classic Studio Ghibli movies that we reviewed at the beginning of the month. Like, Nausicaa, Castle in the Sky, like My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery Service. It reminded me of those.
Yeah. And it felt amazing to go back to this. Oh my God.
Well, enough dawdling.
Yes.
Because, God, we could just go on that for hours. But yeah, this was released in July of 1995. Which actually, hold on, let me scroll down. Oh, I don't think you have this on your fun facts, but this was you told me that this was the first Studio Ghibli movie to have digital compositing throughout, right?
Yeah.
Which, ironically enough, this was the same year that our good man Toy Story came out, so it's almost like the stars are aligning over here.
Yeah, and that was the first movie to use 3D animation modeling with CGI and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
but to a extensive use.
Yeah.
Because
they made shorts back then, but they never made a full feature film.
But also in just film in general, CGI was rarely used up until that point. And then Toy Story came out, it's like, yeah, we could just use CGI as our entire fucking movie, and then everyone's like, oh no, and then everyone just started.
Yeah, so it was around this time when they started to use the full potential of computers, and holy shit, did they deliver it?
I feel the thing about Studio Ghibli is that they use it sparingly.
Yeah.
I honestly really didn't notice any CGI effects throughout. Maybe on one part, which I'll get to. But overall, it didn't really. It wasn't too noticeable, which I guess is a good thing. But anyway, this had a budget of around $7 million in USD. In Japan, it made about $22 million, and worldwide, it made about $35 million. So it made its budget back and then some.
Yeah.
And this was directed by Yoshifumi Kondo, I think that's how you say it. Should I mention this now or save it for later? About this man.
I mean, I don't mind which one, but whichever one you think is best, I'll respect it.
This is unfortunately the only Studio Ghibli movie that this man has directed, because unfortunately He unfortunately did pass away in 1998 from I think he said a ruptured aneurysm.
Yeah.
At the kind of the young age of 47. So that really doesn't. That is sad because honestly, this was a great movie and this is something that we needed from Studio Ghibli in a while. But the fact that he only got one shot at it really does sadden me. So this is a tribute, I would say, to that poor young director. Well, not even young really, because he was in like his mid. Well, actually, I don't know when. Okay, so wait, this was 90. Let's just say 94. So like 43. Yeah, like his mid 40s. And yet he only got one shot at a Studio Ghibli movie. And while it turned out great, it sucks that he didn't get to move on to any other things. But I guess it's kind of cool to have his legacy be like a one shot wonder. I guess.
Yeah.
But it still sucks. But anyway, to move on to the summary, based on the manga of the same name, this animated film follows Chichiko, played by Brittany Snow in the American version, an inquisitive young girl with a vulgarious
Ferocious.
a ferocious. The fuck am I saying? And a ferocious reader who longs to be a writer when she grows up. One day she notices that all her library books have previously been taken out by one Seiji Osawa, or
Seiji Amasawa.
Seiji Amasawa, played by David Gallagher in the American version. Amid chasing after a large cat, befriending an eccentric antiques dealer, and writing her first novel, Chizuko aims to find this mysterious boy who may well be her soulmate. So, pretty involved plot, I would say, because there is a. I don't know how to really describe it, but it's kind of like one of those movies where it's like the main plot is very simple. It's what happens inside of it that is really like the meaty kind of parts of the movie. Yeah. So to move on to the cast, we obviously have Chizuko, played by again Brittany Snow. I do not really recognize her from anything beforehand, but I can look it up right now. I thought she did all right with with the material that she was given. But what did you think about Chizuko?
I thought Shizuku. I thought like Brittany did a wonderful job with her, because like the thing about Shizuku is that she is self-doubt. She has self-doubt in herself, and like that's kind of her character. And I think the way that Brittany was able to capture the self-doubt, it felt so genuine. Like it didn't feel it didn't feel like it was made specifically for just a movie. It felt genuine. And
yeah, so I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm looking at her profile right now, and nothing really is popping out to me except for the Pitch Perfect movies. And that should be enough said.
But overall, I thought Brittany did a great job with Shizuku.
Yeah, I personally agree. Next up, we have CG, played by David Gallagher. I think he did a pretty good job as well. Nothing really much to say else. But what did you think about Shiji?
I thought Seiji was like another great character. You know, at the beginning we don't really know much about him because like he doesn't say much, but like as we move on, we start to know more and more about him, and we start to, it starts to develop like this relationship between uh Shutsuko and like Seiji, and I think they are both great. Uh, so yeah,
Yeah,
I thought David did very well with Seiji.
Yeah, I'm looking through his resume right now, and the real big thing I'm noticing that he was a part of Super 8, which I think is a Christopher Nolan movie. I think I'm not exactly sure, but he also apparently played a role in Smallville, as well as Walker Texas Ranger, with Chuck Norris. So
I'm already starting to remember all the Chuck Norris memes,
yeah,
and those are old.
those fucking memes are old.
Yeah,
Next up we have Sia. I think that's how you say it.
I
Played by James B. Sicken. I think he did all right. Not too memorable, but not too bad either.
yeah. Saya was like the father,
Yeah.
which I mean he doesn't have a lot of screen time, but when like there was one major scene, and I thought like yeah, while he's not on screen for that much of the film, when he is on screen, he is a pretty enjoyable character. Like compared to like most of the other fathers in the Ghibli movies, this was like one of the uh most supportive yet.
Okay, so yeah, I'm looking through this guy's catalog right now. And he played a role in the 1981 movie Outland with Sean Connery. But he also apparently played a role in Star Trek 3 The Search for Spock, which I did not even know about.
I bet RussellStarTrek fanboys about to kick in.
Well, granted, I don't even know what he did, so I mean, obviously, when the review comes out, I might figure it out then. You're probably going to throw a screen grab up. But yeah. All right. Next up, we have Ahsoka, played by Jean Smart. Again, she was all right. Not too bad, but not too memorable either.
Yeah, she's okay. Like she's the mother, uh, but she doesn't have like a huge importance role, I guess. She's just kind
Yeah,
of like
I think she's really just there just to be a supportive figure.
yeah. Uh, but overall, she's just kind of like your standalone mother. Like nothing really much.
Yeah. She was apparently a part of the Kim Possible TV series, if anyone remembers that. She was also in last year's Babylon, as well as 2019's Watchmen TV series. So, I mean, there you go. Next up, we have Shiho, played by Courtney Thone Smith. Again, not bad.
Like she's the sister of Shizuku, and this is kind of weird because like I'm not necessarily a big fan of her, but at the same time, she does act like how siblings act, especially considering
Yeah.
she's the older one. Like, like she kind of lectures at like Shizuku, like saying, "Oh, if you don't like study, then you're wasting your life." Um, which is kind of interesting to hear from the sibling rather than the parents.
Yeah.
But
I mean, so some siblings are like that.
well, yeah, but it's not as, at least in my experience, it's not as common compared to the parents. But again, she's like all right. Uh, like I think with this is like, I mean, this is like one of the most realistic uses of siblings yet, because like they technically get along, but at the same time, they're siblings. Like they do fight, like occasionally, and
Yeah.
it felt so genuine. But overall, I think her character was pretty okay overall.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't really recognize her from much, except for the fact that she apparently played a role in Two and a Half Men, which was something that I'm not gonna lie, I did watch for a little bit, and I actually did kind of enjoy it. To give everyone reference, it's the one with Charlie Sheen in, or he was in for a good amount of seasons, and then he got kicked off because of the fiasco that he was getting in. But moving on, we have Ninshi, played by Harold Gold. I think he's all right. Isn't he like the other boy that gets roped into the main plot or whatever?
No, Nishi's like the grandpa, like the one with the antique
Oh,
store.
right. Yeah, I think he did a good job.
Oh yeah, like
I did recognize him from well, he is in the Master of Disguise, which is a bit controversial. As well as the remake of Freaky Friday with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan.
Isn't that the 2003 one?
Yep.
I love that movie.
Wow, I didn't even know you watched that one, honestly.
I watched that like 5 years ago. Oh my god.
He was also in Patch Adams, really? And Brother Bear? Wow. Alright. But wow, okay, never mind. But what'd you think about him?
I thought he was a great character. Like he's like, Studio Ghibli kind of has, a good for like the older characters who are like supposed to be like the old wise supportive characters. Like I think Studio Ghibli does it great, and Nishi's like just he sells it, man.
Yeah. Finally we have the Baron, who is the cat statue thing. He doesn't really have that much of a prominent role. I think he only appears in like the
kind of like
not really flashback scenes, but like the scenes that take place inside of Suzuki's kind of like story that she's writing.
Because she does in the movie. She does like I think around the third or final act, she starts to write her story, and of course she calls it Whisper of the Heart, and she uses the Baron as like the main character.
And he was played by Karen Ellis, who not only appeared in a previous Studio Ghibli movie, I forgot which character he was. We'll throw the screen grab up of what he was. But he also appeared in a lot of classic like 80s and 90s movies, including The Princess Bride, Robin Hood Men in Tights, Twister, Liar Liar, Glory, apparently the latest Mission Impossible movie, and most notably being in a couple of the Saw movies, being the Doctor. I think he did a really good job, though.
I was gonna say, like Carrie Elwes, like I just looked it up, and it was Curtis from Porco Rosso.
Oh, that's what he was. But yeah, so, and I have a feeling that we're gonna see Carrie Ellis a few more times throughout this marathon. Not spoiling anything yet. But I think he did a very good job. Definitely the most recognizable actor out of all of this. But what did you think about Carrie Ellis?
I mean, the Baron doesn't get a lot of screen time, but I think overall, for the story, like Shizuku's story, purpose-wise, like I thought overall solid.
Yeah. All right. So, do you want to go into favorite scenes?
Man, I'm excited now.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I did not really have a favorite scene,
which is kind of strange because this is a really good
one of the better Studio Ghibli movies we've seen. Like I'm not saying this is a bad movie. Like it is a great movie, but
nothing stood out.
Yeah, nothing substantial stood out to me.
Yeah.
But I know what Franco's favorite scene is, and I'll just say screw it and just go along with that.
Yeah.
Just have something.
Yeah.
But since it is your actual favorite scene, I'll let you explain it.
All right. So I think I'm not exactly. I don't remember exactly when this happens, but it's somewhere past the halfway point, I think. But basically,
somewhere around the middle.
Yeah. But basically, so Shizuku and Seiji start to actually
grow a bond between each other.
Yeah. And they go back inside the antique store. And then shortly after, actually, no, not shortly after, because like this, so like Seiji just shows Shizuku like the Baron, which is the cat statue,
Well, it shows he shows her the statue again because she saw the statue once near like the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
But in the story itself, like the plot of the movie, the last few days the store hasn't been open, like to customers. So and she's been wanting to see the statue for the last few days now. So she's been kind of like, she's like, like, oh, like I really want to see the statue. And then, yeah, this boy, the CG, finds her like kind of just standing outside the shop, and they started like hitting it off, like, with some kind of embarrassing moments between the two. But then, yeah. So and then he's like, "Oh, you want to go and see the statue? I'll take you upstairs and I'll show you it." And she's like, "Oh, thanks." So yeah, they start walking up this basically it's like this like cabin on top of the store, I guess, this antique store. And you want to continue on from there?
Yeah. So after she like sees the statue with like because it's like the sun, it has like an effect with the sun with like the eyes got like this cool effect. And then after some time has passed, she eventually goes back downstairs, and she sees Seiji like
carving out a violin.
Yeah, like carving a violin, and then Seiji just shows like that it's like it's like a violin making class
Yeah.
that they're in, and then she's like, "Oh, can you like perform the violin?" And at first Seiji's like, "No." But then she
he's like a bit hesitant about it, and he's like, "Fine, but you have to sing." And she's like, "What?" And then she's like, "I'm a terrible singer." And he's like, "Well, we'll see about that one. You know this song." And go on.
Yeah. So, he starts to play the violin, and then he's like, "You ready?"
He plays like a little bit of a solo, and she's like, "Wow, that was actually really good." Yeah, and he's like, then he's like, "All right, are you ready?" And she's like, like just stumbling, and then he's like, "All right,
this is a song that you should know." And then he starts to play. The thing about this movie is that the music that they chose, or the song that they chose,
the overall soundtrack is based on a particular song, which I know that most of the internet hates. Like as soon as you mention this, like the song name, everyone's like, "No, get the fuck out right now, get out."
Yeah, but the way it's used in the movie is actually really good. But the song that they start to sing is fucking Country Road.
Oh
my
god!
If you've been on the internet for like the past couple years, then you should know it's Country Roads. Take me home. Like I bet all of you have seen. I bet all of you have seen the fucking Mario. I bet all of you have seen the fucking Mario meme with it. That's how I found it.
The Mario meme, or possibly a scene from a movie that it's been used in, because it was like 2017 was like the year of Country Road. Like there were so many movies that year that used that fucking song, like Alien Covenant, Kingsman, The Golden Circle, and probably a few others I'm forgetting about. But like, it was like the year of Country Road, and everyone just got fucking sick and tired of it. But you can technically say that Whisper of the Heart was technically before the trend, because even the English dub came out in like 2005, like mid 2000s. So this was way beforehand.
Yeah.
But go on.
At first you're like, "Oh, god damn it!" Like that song's been memed a lot, but the way it's used.
Also at this point in the movie, it's been sung 2 to like 4 times now at this point.
Yeah, but
so they are beating it in your fucking head, like, "Oh, you're gonna remember this fucking song."
Yeah,
and you're just sitting there, just like, "Oh,
but
okay,
the way,
I get it, Country Road."
Yeah, but like the way they use the song is actually really well done. So they start to sing, because like also like Shizuku keeps writing lyrics based on the song, and they keep like changing like as you
Yeah,
go on.
because it's first off right at the beginning. It's first off like regular Country Road, like the actual Country Road song. Then it's Concrete Road, and then it technically goes back to Country Road, but some like a lot of the lyrics have been changed.
Yeah, like modified lyrics.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then I think finally she changes the lyrics again to like one final one.
Yeah.
Or one final version of it, but go on.
So yeah, they start to sing, and I immediately loved it because like you start to see this like the bond grow stronger between Shizuku and Seiji. Like they're having a great time, and then shortly after, we see Nishi like bring in like two other people. And
I love the fact he's like he hears the music and both of them are like the two other guys are like what, and then he's like, shh,
yeah,
don't disturb them.
Yeah, which I mean you gotta give respect. I mean,
yeah, and then then he walks downstairs and he sees them like like him playing the violin and her singing. It's like, yeah, they're good, but we can make it better.
Yeah,
so they
so they go down, they grab some instrument, and then they start to play along with them.
So what? I forgot what it was. So one of them is on like a massive violin, like or I don't know what. I don't think it's like an actual violin, like the big ass one that Ninchi plays. I think it has a different name, and obviously we'll post it up here.
And I think one of them has like a flute or something.
Yeah. So I was gonna say like one of them has like a giant violin. One of them has like a flute, and then the other one has like a guitar of some kind. And they're all just like going along, da, da, da,
yeah, like
da, da, da,
yeah.
Da, da, da.
So and then they shortly sing along to the melody, although I think they're like country roads, and then it's like la 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 la. But
da 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 da.
The point being is that they join as well, which I mean. Like
it's very wholesome.
Yeah, it is one of the most wholesome moments I've ever seen in a Ghibli movie yet. And like I thought at first like it just being like Shizuku and Seiji was enough, but the fact that they brought in the old men to play along as well, I was like, oh my god, this is too good.
And then like two of his friends who you don't even see again after that moment.
Yeah.
They're just in this one scene, and then all of a sudden they're out of the fucking movie.
Yeah, but I was just smiling the whole time there. Like it was so fucking good. And
yeah, it was a memorable scene, I would definitely say.
And we were even like playing along.
Yeah, like Country Road.
Yeah.
Take me home. Tell the like that's definitely a song that I'm not gonna get out of my fucking head for a few days now.
I think I'm gonna start listening to it once this is done.
Oh Jesus Christ!
The fucking movie version, at least, because I've heard the normal one way too much, but I like this change of pace.
The only version, like, I guess technically besides this one, because this one was alright, but the only version of Country Road that I've actually liked was from the Kingsman Golden Circle. I recommend listening to that because that's honestly a way better experience. But that's just me. But I mean, yeah, do you want to say anything else before we move on to the fun facts?
And then, like, once they're done playing, like, they all, like, they're just, like, clapping and cheering. And then I think one of Nishi's friends is like, you've got a great friend, eh, Seiji? Because the thing is...
at this point, she doesn't know who this Sichi person is.
Yeah, because
she's been trying to figure out this entire time. And
yeah. Because the thing about the Seiji person is, like, Seiji is, like, Seiji Amasawa. That's, like, the name she keeps seeing in, like, the book she's checking out. Because, like, every book she's checked out during the movie, it's always featured Seiji Amasawa. So, and she doesn't...
Yeah, and then the one book that she thinks is, like she's like, haha, I beat him. And then she opens up the book, and it just says donated by, like, his last name. And you're just like, and she's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, and like the whole movie, she's like trying to figure out who like this Amasawa person is, Seiji Amasawa.
And then she keeps on running into this guy who she thinks is a massive jerk. And she's like, wow, what a dunce or whatever the fuck. Or like, what that guy is such a jerk, like whatever.
Stupid jerk,
and
stupid
then,
jerk, stupid jerk.
yeah, stupid jerk, stupid jerk.
That is actually what she says.
Okay, you know what? That might actually be my favorite scene. It's just stupid jerk, stupid jerk, stupid.
Yeah, like she just says it so fast. And
I forgot what the context was.
I think.
Oh wait, I think it was when he like drops off her like the lunch that she was gonna give to her father. And she's like, yeah, I can tell that you eat like a pig or whatever. She's like, you jerk, and then she's just like walking down like stupid jerk.
I think the first time she does like the stupid jerk thing is like because we see the boy like near the beginning of the movie she like
no because at first it's only like once like wow what a stupid jerk and then it's that moment where she's like walking down and she's like stupid jerk stupid jerk stupid jerk.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that Snow was able to say that so quickly, like in time, like because I can't even do it.
Stupid jerk, stupid jerk, stupid jerk. Oh damn, that is hard.
Yeah, and then you see fucking. But yeah, that might be my favorite scene. Yeah. Just her just walking down, just stupid jerk, stupid jerk, stupid jerk.
Yeah, but basically, she still has no idea who Seiji Yamasawa is, and then one of the
it's that moment where she's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, and
yeah, and he just says, "Like, didn't I tell you my name already?" She's like, "No, you were just jerk the entire time." He's like, "Hey, well, I wasn't the jerk."
Yeah, and then
the three old men are just sitting there, just like, what? And then finally they just start bursting out laughing, like, oh, you two are so cute. So yeah, that was a fun scene.
That's like the thing I like about the bond between like Seiji and Shizuku's. Like at first they don't really know each other that well, and they kind of avoid each other. Well, specifically, Shizuku, because again, he's a stupid jerk. But then it was when they're both at the antique shop. That's when they start to know each other more.
And actually start to connect. And then she's like, "Oh wait, fuck, you're the jerk guy." No.
Yeah, and then like,
but then they reconnect after that. She's like, "Oh wow, you're actually not that bad of a person, and maybe I was the dunce in this situation."
But yeah, they have a unique connection with each other, which I really liked.
Yeah. Anything else you want to mention before we move on to the fun facts?
I don't think. Like that
good to know.
Like I'm like trying to think of like another scene that like really stood out to me, but besides that, nothing major is popping up, so I think we can move on.
Okay. So so this time we actually have 3 fun facts, but 2 of them we already mentioned, so we're gonna kind of breeze by those fairly quickly. The first one here, I've mentioned this before, but did you know that this film marks the first use that Studio Ghibli actually used digital compositing? So yeah, basically like the elements of a scene were basically composed using a computer instead of just putting cells on top of each other and then animating them like that. In this case, it's the flying scene with Baron and Shizuko's story. The scene contains a lot of elements moving independently, including the small planets and Shizuko's characters. Although all these elements were animated by traditional means, they were combined using computer technology. So for the most of the movie, it's traditional, way of compositing all the animation cells together. But for that one scene, they did use a little bit of digital trickery to try and actually make the scene look believable, and I think it actually did work. The second one here is actually something that we did not mention, so we're going to go a little bit more into depth about this. But did you know that there's actually a reference to My Neighbor Totoro in this movie?
Yeah, if there isn't enough Totoro references as of right now.
Obviously we're going to be throwing up screen grabs for this, but basically near the beginning of the movie, Shizuko is looking for a new book to read at the library, and she's looking through all these books, and in one shot you see her kind of like looking up through all of these books, and there is one particular book that says in bold letters on the spine, Totoro. Obviously this is a reference to one of Hayao Miyazaki's earlier films, that of course being My Neighbor Totoro. So this was like Kondo's kind of like little like, hey, little make sure to know that this is a Studio Ghibli movie. There's your Totoro reference, just to get it out of the way quickly.
Yeah, I mean, for this specific shot, you kind of have to look a little bit close because like the letters are blue and like the book is the case.
No. The book is blue and the text is red. I remember that.
I don't think it was red, but I can't remember. Anyway, the point being,
obviously, like we'll zoom in on the screenshot here to
but basically
show what we're talking about.
It just kind of blends in, so like you kind of have to look a little bit closer, but it is there. Like when I throw the screenshot, I'll like circle it to make it more clear.
Mm-hmm. And then the third one I already mentioned earlier was that this was the only, or did you know that this was the only Studio Ghibli movie directed by Yoshifumi Kondo, because like I said, he sadly did pass away in 1998 due to a ruptured aneurysm at the young age of 47. So yeah, still very sad. I mean, yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. So, Franco, what are your final thoughts on Whisper of the Heart?
I did not expect myself to love this movie because, at this point, I just had no expectations for, like, the rest of the 90s Ghibli movie. Like, given their reputation with the past movies, I wasn't really expecting anything major. But holy shit was I proven wrong, because this is... Oh my god. This was an amazing movie. And I'll be honest right now. Like, my opinions could change, obviously, later on. But as of right now, I think I actually like this movie more than Castle in the Sky.
Really?
Like, Castle in the Sky is still an amazing movie. But I think something about this movie just connects with me more. I think one of the reasons is that the characters are extremely relatable. Especially Shizuku. Like, I cannot fathom how relatable she is. Like, literally, when I was like watching this movie, and every time she has like a relatable part, I was like, yes, fucking yes, that's so true. And like, because the thing about this movie, at least for me, because not everyone's gonna feel the same way, but like, not only do I feel for her, but I can relate to her. Like, I think Shizuku is probably the most relatable character ever, and I haven't felt this relatable to any of the Ghibli characters since Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah, that was a while ago. So, yeah, I can definitely see that.
Because like the thing about Shizuku is like she has self-doubt, just like me, and like the scenes with her family, it's also super relatable because like they think what she's doing is like, oh, you're just throwing your life away, especially the sister. And there's actually a scene where like she kind of argues with the sister. And I remember there's a line where the sister's like, Shizuku said that she's not going to high school. And then the sister's like, are you crazy? Like, basically, like, are you crazy? It's like, you need an education. And then Shizuku's like, oh yeah, like, fucking school has helped you in your life. And I was like, shit. Because, like, the thing is this, is like, everything about this movie feels so genuine. Like, it doesn't feel like it's only written for, like, a script of a movie. It feels like it actually happens. Like, it literally, like, the family, it felt like a real family. Like, sometimes they just get along, but then other times they do occasionally argue and fight.
Just like any family, really.
Yeah. And Shizuku feels so relatable because of her self-doubt, and even when people say, oh my god, this is amazing, she's like, no, it's not. Which I relate to so much as well. And another thing I loved about this movie is, like, so in the school, like, there's a scene where Seiji goes to her classroom, and then one of the students is like,
because he goes there to tell her the news, which, if you guys obviously haven't seen it, spoilers, that he got accepted to go to Italy to try and become like a violin kind of like making teacher. So he goes to her, like, well, Because I think they go to the same school, right?
Yeah,
Or
they go to the same school.
but yeah, like he like walks up to the class and is like, "Hey, is Shizuko in there?" And yeah, and then the fucking guy just turns around and goes, "Hey, Shizuko, there's someone here for you.
It's a guy.
He's a boy."
And then,
yeah, it's a guy, and everyone just like, "Nani?"
Yeah, the whole
everyone just turns around like, "The fuck did he just say?"
The whole class goes silent, and then like of course, like also another thing is that this is supposed to be middle school, like 8th grade.
Yeah.
So knowing that, of course, everyone's like, it's like,
"Oh, she got a boyfriend." Woo!
Yeah, and like,
which I mean, grandly, like one at that moment, it's obviously not that correct, but at the same time, it's fucking middle school, so it's like
because the thing about
it's gonna happen at some point.
Because the thing about this is that like, unlike Only Yesterday and Ocean Waves, which like had like the same like well, specifically Only Yesterday, I guess, because like in that one, the way they handled this these two have a crush on each other, it felt very awkward, and also everyone was just a dick over there, so it didn't really work.
But also at the same time, that was elementary school students, so they didn't really know back then. Because again, that movie the past is set in like the mid to late 60s.
Yeah.
So most kids back then didn't really know like how should we react to this.
Yeah.
And like they're just like like, oh, we'll just, not in a harmful way, but we'll make jokes about it. But obviously that would get to the girls and stuff like that, because this is like a serious subject for them.
Yeah, so at least
whereas this movie, like yeah, it's more like it's more like playful.
Yeah.
Whereas like in this movie, because it's like at this moment, like they're starting to learn kind of more about it, and it is like technically this movie is set in 1994, so basically like a year before this movie came out.
Which I think, like, I don't like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think where like as of right now, like for the 10th Ghibli movie, this is the one where it's set in like the most modern time, because this is like the first one that's set technically in modern time in terms of the movie. Yeah, because
every single one before this is like either World War One, World War Two, or like
just
an alternate timeline, but it's set around World War Two or whatever. This movie is full out just like, this is set in the 90s, flat out, because they full out mentioned that technically, I would say technically Ocean Waves does count, but that says, actually, no way. Ocean Waves, they didn't really specify what the date is. So it could very well be modern times for Only Yesterday. But I think this is actually like the first Studio Ghibli movie to actually mention that this is in like modern times. Like they say like, oh yeah, this is like or whatever. It's like 1994 or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't say when Ocean Waves take place.
But I think that the tech in Ocean Waves is very modern anyway. So you can easily just juxtapose it and say like that's set in modern times. But yeah, this is like this is the first movie where they flat out say like, okay, yeah, this is modern times.
Yeah.
But what would you like rank this movie?
In terms of letter grading, I would give it an A+. Like,
really?
Like, to me, I can't think of a single moment where I dislike it. Like, everything felt so, in a way, I guess, right. Like, it didn't feel like anything was wrong. It felt legitimate. It felt realistic, but also playful at the same time. And I especially love the relationship between Shizuku and Seiji. And I think I like them actually more than Pazu and Cheetah. But still, like, Castle in the Sky is still a great movie. But I think I like this just a little bit more. But of course, opinions. Like, not everyone's going to agree with this. But to me, and I was not expecting it. Because, like, Castle in the Sky, like, has held its title, in my opinion, for so long. But I think now, it just got beaten.
Okay. So you think that this is better than Castle in the Sky?
By a small margin. Like, it's very close, but I think it's just a little bit better.
Okay. you're probably gonna hate me for this, but I do not think that at all.
I mean, that's completely fine.
I still think it's a great movie, but in terms of the Studio Ghibli movies that we have watched so far, I don't think it's as good as, like Castle in the Sky or Kiki's Delivery Service. So currently, right now, I'm gonna put this. Everything that you really mentioned about the movie, I do agree with you, but there were moments throughout where I did kind of feel like there were moments like did kind of drag a bit. And also, the Baron is all over the marketing of this movie. Like, it's on the posters, it was in the advertisement, and yet he only gets barely 5 to 10 minutes of screen time, which is kind of disappointing. But obviously we're gonna see more of the Baron later on in this marathon. But overall, though, that doesn't really affect my overall mood of the movie. It's just that something that kind of you realize as you go throughout. But yeah, like not counting the two that I've seen before starting this marathon because those kind of interject with them with my current ranking. But so far, I'm gonna give this movie an A- in terms of just normal letter grading. But in terms of ranking all the Studio Ghibli movies, I'm gonna place this third in my rankings.
Okay, that's
below
fair.
Castle in the Sky and below Kiki's Delivery Service, but definitely above Grave of the Fireflies, My Neighbor Totoro, and that sort of thing.
Okay, that's respectable.
And I did love watching this movie, but I just feel like that I would definitely go back and rewatch Castle in the Sky and Kiki's Delivery Service way more often than Whisper of the Heart. But yeah. So so yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Studio Ghibli Summer. As per usual, go and check out Franco's channel on both YouTube and Kick. He does great live streams over there. As per usual, if you like this sort of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon to get notified when future videos are coming out. You can also check out these other two videos right here. Probably Studio Ghibli Summer videos. And as per usual, go and follow me on my social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. That's when you guys will get notified when future videos are coming out, or just about my personal life in general. If you guys want to know what I think about movies before we actually do the reviews on them, go and follow me on my Letterboxd page, because that's where I'll post about what I think about a certain movie, what I give it on stars and such, before the actual reviews come out on YouTube. So go and follow me there. And go and follow me on Twitch as well, because I'm going to try and get back into live streaming, but I'm not exactly sure yet. I am excited for next video because we are getting into the big leagues, folks. Tomorrow, probably not. Well, I don't know. It might be tomorrow, but next time on Studio Ghibli Summer, we are going to be talking about Princess Mononoke, which was released in 1997. This is considered to be one of the best Studio Ghibli movies of all time. And some might even consider it to be the best, objectively. So, I am really, really excited to see how this goes. And I hope Franco feels the same way. But anyway, guys, we'll see you guys next time for our review of Princess Mononoke. We'll see you guys later. Live long and prosper. Out.
Bye.